Ayodhya was abuzz with joy and celebration. King Dasharatha, aging but deeply loved by his people, had decided it was time to pass on his throne. His eldest son Ram, renowned for his virtues and valor, was chosen as the rightful heir. The city streets were decorated with garlands and musicians played melodies of festivity. Ram's brothers Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrugna were delighted, each devoted to Ram in their unique way. Queen Kaikeyi, Ram's mother, prepared for the grand ceremony with pride in her eyes. In the palace, Dasharatha was filled with emotions, a mix of pride and the sorrow of growing old. He gathered Ram and gave him fatherly advice on how to rule Ayodhya with fairness and compassion. Ram, ever humble and respectful, bowed and accepted his father's wisdom. Meanwhile, in the secluded chambers of the palace, Queen Kaikeyi was in blissful ignorance of any ill will. She cherished Ram as her own son and even prepared to join the festivities. But fate took a dark turn when her maid, Manthara, an old and cunning woman, approached her. Manthara's heart burned with envy at the thought of Ram becoming king. She whispered poison into Kaikeyi's ears, reminding her of her own son Bharat's right to the throne. Her words twisted Kaikeyi's mind, planting seeds of fear and jealousy where love had once flourished. Kaikeyi was shaken but still hesitant. Manthara reminded her of the two boons Dasharatha had promised her long ago, favors she had yet to claim. As Manthara's insidious words took hold, Kaikeyi's face turned pale, and a storm of conflict brewed within her heart. Reluctantly, Kaikeyi's love for Ram began to waver. The once joyful queen transformed into a woman filled with anguish and determination. In a burst of emotion, she decided she would use her promised boons to change the future of Ayodhya. As the night enveloped the city, Kaikeyi stormed into the private chambers of King Dasharatha. The king, sensing her distress, rushed to comfort her, but she collapsed at his feet, weeping bitterly. Dasharatha was bewildered, desperately asking what had caused her such agony. Through tears, Kaikeyi demanded that Dasharatha grant her two boons. Her first wish was that Bharat should be crowned king instead of Ram. Her second was the exile of Ram to the forest for 14 years. Dasharatha was struck by these demands, as if his heart had shattered. The king pleaded, his voice breaking, but Kaikeyi remained unmoved. She reminded him of his vow, made years ago when she had saved his life on the battlefield. Bound by the honor of a king, Dasharatha realized he could not break his word no matter the pain it caused. Dawn broke over Ayodhya, but the jubilant atmosphere had been pierced with sorrow. Ram was summoned to the palace, unaware of the tragedy that awaited him. With a heavy heart and trembling lips, Dasharatha told Ram of Kaikeyi's demands and the boons he had promised. Ram listened, his serene face reflecting no anger or shock. He accepted his fate with grace, determined to uphold his father's honor and the integrity of their lineage. Lakshman, enraged and unwilling to be parted from his brother, declared he would accompany Ram into exile. Sita, too, insisted she would not be left behind. Despite Ram's initial refusal, she made her resolve clear. As his wife, she would share his every joy and sorrow. With tears and blessings, Kaikeyi and Sumitra embraced their sons and Sita, their hearts heavy with grief. In the shadow of the palace, the once jubilant Ayodhya witnessed its beloved prince Ram clad in simple garments. With Sita and Lakshman by his side, he stepped away from the city's grandeur, beginning a journey that would test their virtues and lead to a tale of epic proportions. As they departed, Dasharatha collapsed in his chamber, overwhelmed by the weight of his broken heart. Ayodhya fell silent, the city's joy replaced by a somber stillness. The story of sacrifice, loyalty, and the battle between Dharma and destiny had truly begun.